Okay, here we go, guys. Welcome in once again. Welcome to the dungeon and another episode of the Regular Guy Daily NBA Fantasy and our pick six for this Sunday, the 25th of April, 2021. Thank you very much for tuning in, as always. And before we get started, I'm going to try and remember this today. If you don't mind, I would very much appreciate if you'd hit the like button on the video if this video helps you out at all. Also, please hit that subscribe button, little notification bell that you'll get notified every time we do produce a new video. Considering some new things for the Regular Guy DFS show coming up, including a potential live stream coming up to break down some of the slates during the week on the weekends. If you guys would be interested in that, I could answer some questions and give you some thoughts on some plays that I think that maybe will be good for the day, like always in the pick six. The goal here to get a little bit different, as I've always said, I'm playing GPPs here, so maybe some sleeper type players, some guys that other people aren't giving you. So hopefully, maybe we'll be able to work on that in the coming days. And we're also going to put out some other videos, hopefully, just about MLB fantasy, the basics of NBA DFS fantasy if you are new to doing this. So lots of good stuff coming. So if you could hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, I sure would appreciate it. Okay, I don't want to waste too much of your time on a Sunday. I know you guys got things to do. I've still got the morning coffee going here. That's getting cold. Okay. Let's just quickly review yesterday's pick six. A couple days ago, we had a good one. We scored 313 points of our six guys in the pick six. Yesterday, not so good. Not horrible, but when you're spending up, Jimmy Butler's a guy I told you guys that I hadn't really rostered much. I wanted to get exposure to that game against Chicago because Chicago is so bad defensively. Picked the wrong guy. Bam Adebayo was the play yesterday. We should have remembered targeting Chicago with bigs is usually the way to go. Jimmy Butler, you just expect more out of him at that price point. So that was a swing and a miss, really. We needed 20 or 30 more points out of Jimmy. Luka and Conley were just okay. Actually, Luka was disappointing too. 42 fantasy points yesterday. At his price point, I need 60 out of you. Did manage to score 303 points in my main lineup in the tournaments I played in, but that wasn't good enough. We got a little bit of money back. We didn't really break even, and that's certainly not what we're looking for. So, Mike Conley, the play for Utah was obviously Bogdanovich. We swung and missed on that. We need more out of Luka. Armani Brooks, I think his first half stat line was 1 assist or 1 rebound. He came back, scored 12 points, but again, we talk about value, guys. There's one thing to stick value in so you can put studs in, but it's another thing to pick the right value. And I thought Armani Brooks, Caleb Martin, or Kenyon Martin Jr. were the good couple of good value plays from Houston yesterday. Turned out they really didn't produce what we needed. Let's try and do better today. So let's get into today's pick six. It's a little 4-game slate, so we're going to have to try and get different somewhere, guys. So this is going to be kind of a risk-reward pick six. I'm going to give you a couple of guys that I don't think are going to be very highly owned, that I think have the potential to pay off their price point. They also have the potential to bust. Okay, so just keep that in mind when you're playing. If you do take take any of these guys and put them in your lineups or play the entire pick six. The first guy, however, we're going to put into the pick six is a guy that I'm really not concerned about busting. I'm just going to eat the price tag and play Russell Westbrook. When you have a guy whose floor is 50, you just got to eat it. Even on a 4-game slate where we are trying to look to get a little bit different here, at least I am. I'm not going to fade a guy that has the potential to drop an 80 piece. And then be sitting there wishing I had those 80 points, even though he's going to be probably incredibly high owned on a 4-game slate. There are some other stud options today, so maybe Westbrook won't come in real high owned, but I just don't see how you don't put him in at least one of your lineups today. So I don't really have to explain any further about Russell Westbrook. The second guy we're going to put in today is maybe a little bit different. We know that De'Aaron Fox is going to be out for Sacramento, and they've already announced that Tyrese Halliburton is going to start in his place. And Tyrese Halliburton is a fine player. Um, However, De'Aaron Fox's usage is so high that I think Tyrese Halliburton's going to be pretty high owned tonight. Just, take out Fox, plug in Halliburton. I'm going to look to a guy that's been extremely productive for Sacramento, even with De'Aaron Fox on the floor. His price point, it's probably right about where it should be. I think maybe it's a touch too low, but Buddy Hield has the potential to go out and put up 55, 60 fantasy points. And without De'Aaron Fox on the floor, his shots and his usage are just going to be higher. The Sacramento Golden State game is a game you probably want to get plenty of exposure to. So instead of just putting Halliburton in to replace Fox, because I think Halliburton's price is a little too high for my liking, I'm going to take the guy that has been producing anyway in Buddy Hield and just assume that his usage is going to go even higher with De'Aaron Fox off the floor. So Buddy Hield is going to be part of the pick six today. Next up, a guy that I don't think too many people... Actually, you know what? Let's do this first. Let's go to the small forward spot. Steph Curry, a fine play today. But with no Kent Bazemore, Kelly Oubre moved back into the starting lineup, and he has been playing fantastic. Let's just pull up his game log here real quick. He's back to getting the minutes that we expected from Oubre, and he's back to playing like we expected him to. He had a stretch where he wasn't very good, was dealing with the injury. But last game, as you see, 32 minutes, 46 fantasy points, 37 minutes against Washington, 39 fantasy points. Golden State's running a very tight rotation. So I expect Kelly Oubre to once again get maybe upwards of 35, 36 minutes. And if he does that, he's got a 50-point output, certainly as a possibility. So I love Kelly Oubre against Sacramento, who does, again, we're going to try and target this game a little bit. Neither one of these teams are real high on defense. So Kelly Oubre, I think, is a great play against Sacramento today. Should be very fast-paced, and if he continues to play the way he's been playing, I think he's a good play. Now, let's go to a guy that you're not going to hear very much about. The Washington Wizards last game started Isaac Bonga at forward. I think he only ended up playing 13 or 14 minutes. I fell for it. If you remember the pick six two days ago where we scored 313 points, but I said the other two spots we needed to be productive as well. Well, I put Isaac Bonga in one of them, and what a disaster he was. He was terrible. I think he only played 13, 14 minutes, something like that. You have to check that for sure. But Anton Gill comes off the bench and plays 20 minutes and scores 25 fantasy points. I don't know if they're going to start Bonga again today or if they'll move somebody else into the starting lineup. But as bad as Bonga was, I'm assuming maybe Gill gets up to somewhere up around 25, 26 minutes today. And if he does, he can certainly score 30, 35 fantasy points. He's not going to be high owned, guys. And again, this pick six is going to be a little bit of a boom or a bust. Okay? We're taking a risk here to get different. So we'll see if it pays off. I'm going to take a chance on it. At 3,300, he doesn't have to score 50 points to pay off his price point. Hopefully he'll get a few more minutes today. His usage will be a little higher, and that he won't be very high owned. Now, at our center position, we're going to go ahead and go back to the well. We know Domantas Sabonis has been ruled out for Indiana once again. I'm going to keep riding this train with O'Shea Brissett. His prices went up to $4,500. I'm still okay paying that. However, I want you to keep in mind and keep an eye on the starting lineups today, because Goga Bitadze is once again questionable. He was questionable 2 days ago. He ended up sitting, and Jakar Sampson moved into the starting lineup. If Bitadze plays, and if he doesn't have a minutes limit, I'm perfectly fine. In fact, I will probably go to Batadzi as my center position and maybe still put Brissett in it, but I think Batadzi's 4,200 as opposed to 4,800. If he's going to play his normal minutes as the backup, or excuse me, as a starter, and isn't limited because of this injury that he has, I think Batadzi is a really good play here at center, and you can save yourself $600 in salary. So just keep an eye on the Indiana situation throughout the day. I think either one of them is a fine play. I'm not sure I'd play the two of them together. Maybe I would, but either way, I think Batadzi's a really good play if he does play. And then the last guy I'm going to give you, it's another boomer bust thing. We're going to go back to that Sacramento Golden State game, and we're going to go to DeLon Wright. Now, we know Halliburton is going to start, but DeLon Wright had been getting pretty big minutes even when Fox, off the bench, even when Fox was playing. And his last game is what concerns me here, and I think this is why people are going to avoid him today and just go straight to Halliburton. I don't know what the hell this was. 15 minutes, 3 fantasy points. But if you look back at his 3 games before that, he'd played 27, 26, 28 minutes. Now that Fox is off the floor, I would assume that he will get a chunk of those minutes off the bench that Halliburton's going to get as the starter. So I'm expecting 30 minutes from DeLon Wright. And as you can see, he's about a fantasy point per minute player, or even a little bit better. So I have no problem trying to be a little different here again. We're taking a risk, and we're going to put DeLon Wright into our pick 6. Again, it's a little bit of a boom or bust with a couple of guys here, but that's going to have to be the key on a 4-game slate where there's going to be so many duplicate lineups, that kind of stuff. We're just trying to find any little way to get different that might give us an advantage. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. That's today's pick 6. Westbrook, Hield, Oubre, Gill, Brissett / Batadzi, and DeLon Wright. Again, before you get out of here, please, if you don't mind, hit that like button down below. It helps me out a bunch. Hit the subscribe button and hit the little notification bell. I hope you all enjoy your Sunday. I hope this thing pays off for you and me, and we can get back on a winning track and make some money tonight. So thanks for tuning in. We will talk to you tomorrow, and good luck tonight to all of us.